Welcome to Wander Paws Down Under. I'm Dan,
I'm Anita.
and together we're travelling around Australia with our dog Wally, our cat Paprika, our off-road caravan, and our trusty turtle Hilux. Today we bring you an action-packed episode focused on the Flinders Ranges region of South Australia. We're going to chat about the town of Hawker, the Flinders Ranges National Park, Rawnsley Park Station, and some of the hikes we did, as well as a cool four-wheel drive track. So before we delve into it, make sure you hit that subscribe button and press on the bell to make sure that you capture all of our good episodes and key advice. We'd also like to thank the Andia Mathana people, I hope I pronounced that correctly, for allowing us to visit and experience their land and to learn and hear their stories.
Yeah, it was very educational, this part of the country. We haven't been there before. So to be able to spend time there, it was very powerful stuff.
Very special. So, first up, we'll chat about the town of Hawker. So Hawker's located 382 kilometres north of Adelaide, and there's a couple of key things that would be very valuable for anyone visiting the Flinders Ranges region. So if you're not staying in one of the sheep stations or in Wilpenna Pound, this is the last free potable water source before you get into the Flinders Ranges. It's important because it's quite an isolated and remote area north of Hawker, so you definitely don't want to be caught without any fresh water, and you can just fill up at the park just off the main highway.
Even for anyone that's just doing the drive through, right? You might not be staying in the Flinders Ranges, so it's just good to know that that is the last place. And we've been told that the water is the best.
Yeah, it's not the bore water that you'd get north of there, it's actually proper free potable water. So we stayed in a roadside stop about 10 kilometres north of town. And the reason we did that was A, to save a buck, and B, we got told about some spectacular panoramic views that were there, and the place delivered. I mean, to be fair, it is just a gravel pit, but it did have 360-degree panoramic views, and it was pet-friendly as well.
I almost got caught there. I was about to get excited because I thought that you meant that we stayed there just because we were told about the beautiful breakfast in the area. So I have read a million blogs about, the places that we've been going to, especially being pet friendly. We need to know where we can go and where we can take our doggo and our cat. So I read a lot about the places that we're going to, and this place kept coming up all the time. Flinders Food Co. Now, I understand why, because we're from Melbourne, so we love a good brunch. We love a good fancy sort of dining experience.
And our standards are bloody high. Probably too high for this part of the world where we're going through, but nonetheless,
we've been disappointed before. And the thing is, we just wouldn't expect to get the quality that we had at Flinders Food Co. in Hawker. I think, what did I have for breakfast? It was something really cool, like something I hadn't had before. It was cornbread and avocado with native dukkha. So that was just like yummy, yummy,
Did you
yummy.
say dukkha?
Oh,
Isn't
sorry.
it dukkha?
Dukkha, daka. I have no idea. But yes.
It was good though.
It was so yummy. What did you have?
I got the Korean chicken burger with chips, which is typically a bit of an unusual choice for breakfast, but I'm a bit weird, and in Melbourne, whenever I go to a new cafe, I always get the fried chicken burger.
Exactly.
So for me, it was pretty normal, and let me tell you, the portion was enormous. This thing was next level big.
Yeah.
And it was super tasty as well. So well done, guys. Flinders Food & Co., you definitely delivered and exceeded our expectations.
We forgot one thing.
The coffee.
Yeah, exactly. It was a delicious coffee, and definitely of our Melbourne standards when it comes to coffee. They had all different varieties of milk. So for anyone
Of course they did.
Yeah, well, sorry, anyone that doesn't, do dairy, there was all the kinds, oat milk, soy, everything. So we loved it. Great stop. Well worth the good morning.
Yeah, it's also dog friendly as long as you sit outside. So it was a little bit cold when we were there. I think it was like a balmy 4 or 5 degrees.
Yeah,
so
it was very cold.
We left Wally in the caravan just across the roads and Paprika as well.
But it is known for being dog friendly. I think there's even an outdoor dining section on like a garden bar type
Been
thing.
away too long. Forgot how to speak English.
I know. Anyway.
Last but not least, make sure you do fill up on fuel before you head into the Flinders Ranges. This is the cheapest fuel by about 30% compared to the stations further in. So well worth a good stop there. So onto Rawnsley Park Station. This place I don't know. Like, there's so much to it. It could probably do a whole episode in itself. So we'll try and
Literally.
keep it brief. So it's a privately owned sheep station at the foothills of the Flinders Ranges that has since diversified into becoming a pet-friendly tourism destination in its own right. So it's 34 k's north of Hawker, about 416 k's from Adelaide. And yeah, I mean, it's got hikes, it's got restaurants, it's got helicopter rides.
I was about to say helicopters.
We didn't go on one.
Well, we were still kind of we don't know how much money we're going to spend part of our trip, so
Well, instead we
definitely
got
didn't get to do the helicopter ride.
we got wood-fired pizza instead.
Oh yeah, on the same pay.
So there's also four-wheel drive tracks, and the best part is there is on-site pet kennels, which was a huge benefit to those of us that wanted to explore the national park. And let's face it, the national park is why a lot of people head into that area.
Yeah.
And there are just certain walks and certain activities that you cannot do with pets. You can't even bring them in a car. So yeah, very important part of the world.
Yeah.
For that.
That was actually something that I did read about in multiple blog posts about Rawnsley Park having the pet minding, and it is the main reason that we stayed there. What we didn't realise is how much there actually was to do at Rawnsley Park Station as just on its own. So we were able to take Wally or any of your pets, like if you really want to, I mean, dogs in this case, on the hikes. They have multiple dog-friendly hikes there, some more difficult than others. We did see people with their sausage dogs climbing a mountain. We were thinking, well, we decided to leave Wally at home for this particular hike, but you know, you can do whatever you want. It's totally up to you. So that was one of the main reasons why we stayed there. And yeah, it really did deliver.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the actual camping facilities themselves, so you've got your standard powered sites, and you know, as with many powered sites at caravan parks, you are quite close together with your neighbours. So if that's your vibe, and if you want to be close to facilities, absolutely, there's heaps of room. But we decided to go to an unpowered site. Thankfully, our power setup in our caravan is very strong, and also there's just a massive amount of room, and take your pick of the places. So
yeah, it does feel like you're wild camping. Like you are in a caravan park, so you can drive from, you know, the free sort of camping sites to the...
You meant the...
Oh, you know what I mean. I'm getting my words mixed up today, but what I'm trying to say is that from the unpowered sites, you can drive to the amenities. The amenities. But you feel like you are literally just all out on your own. There is no one around you. There is so much space. You have a view of the beautiful mountains.
Spectacular views.
Yeah,
and you can have fires as well.
We were able to have Paprika wandering around our campsite because there was nobody around us. The dogs that were probably staying in the location were nowhere to be seen. So it was actually amazing for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the nights we got some wood-fired pizza from the restaurant on site, so you can do takeaway. And we brought it back, had a fire, amazing stars, just out of this world.
Yeah.
It was pure bliss.
We even set up a little picnic and all of that kind of stuff. It was really beautiful.
Yeah, definitely. So highly recommend you stay at Rawnsley Park Station. It's not expensive, particularly the unpowered sites. And there is also Wi-Fi on site, but you do have to get close to the amenities.
But especially if you are an off-grid, I'm doing it again, off-grid capable caravan or, you know, camping setup, you will literally feel like you're in the middle of nowhere. Like you don't feel like you're on top of another person, and you have that space, which is a huge selling point for most people.
Yeah, and particularly with a cat, you know, a cat likes to venture around and not be disturbed by other entities and beings, and this place delivered.
It was great.
As well, yeah. So do we want to maybe talk about some of the hikes in Rawnsley Park?
Sure. Yeah, sure. We did 2 hikes in one, because pretty much once you climb up to the mountain, why wouldn't you want to do both hikes rather than having to do it again another day? But up to you. For us, we were like, let's kill 2 birds with one stone. So we did Wilpenna Pound hike. So it's just a view of Wilpenna Pound, because Wilpenna Pound is actually inside the national park, and Rawnsley Bluff. Oh my god!
Man, you're on a roll today.
Oh my gosh! I hope you're still listening to me. But anyway, so Rawnsley Bluff and Wilpenna Pound view hikes. They were
on fire today.
I think it was 4 hours.
Yeah, it was about
4 hours?
3 to 4 hours.
And you know what? It's a difficult hike for people that are not necessarily fit. Quite a bit of rock climbing to get up. Very steep incline, pretty much for very large portion of the hike. It is dog friendly, this hike. We didn't take Wally because, I don't know, it just didn't, when I read about the hike, it just seemed like, why would I want to take my dog there?
Grade 4 as well.
But there were people with their, like, this is what I was saying before about their sausage dogs and like little dogs, and I don't think those people made it to the top. So Wally could have probably done it and he was allowed to do it, but honestly, I think personally I didn't want to think about having to look after him.
Yeah.
I was trying to look after myself and keep my heart rate down.
Yeah, and look, let me tell you, the views are absolutely spectacular from up there. You'll see we're chucking up a couple of videos now, but just unbeatable views, and really well worth, you know, just finding that zen, particularly without pets bothering you, to just take it all in, soak it in, and really just listen to the land and listen to whatever your body and mind and heart is telling you.
Yeah, we really did just sit. I think it was at the Wilpenna Pound lookout area. We just sat there for like a good 15 to 20 minutes, and we were both silent, just looking with our eyes closed even sometimes, just being. And we were very lucky to be on that hike. We did cross paths with people on the walk up, but we never seemed to have been at the locations when there was other people, so we were very lucky. It was beautiful. I definitely wouldn't recommend doing the hike in the heat of the day. We were lucky that the day was a bit cooler, so we were actually able to enjoy that hike.
And also, we left Wally that day in the care of the Rawnsley Park Station kennels. So they have kennels on site. I think it was what, 20, $25 for the day.
Yeah, look, it's not glamorous. Like, I was a little bit, I don't want to leave my baby in a cage.
She
because I cried. But that's because we don't leave Wally in a cage. He's not a cage dog. He's never been crate trained. So for me to leave him in a cage, don't get me wrong, it is a big cage. Like, there's a bit of space. There's a bed. There is a place to tie them up if you need to, depending on the type of dog you have. But it is enclosed, and we were able to get the Rawnsley Park people to actually bring him a lamb bone, which was good.
Premium service.
For an
unpremium price.
So, you know, it was hard to leave him behind, but we were able to spend the whole day out doing something for ourselves, which was really a bonus point for us.
Yeah, definitely. So, moving on, another day where we also left Wally in the care of the good folk at Rawnsley Park Station. We decided to venture out a little bit further north into the national park itself. And the first place we went to was called Arkapena Track. I've probably pronounced that really, really badly. It's also known as Arkaroo Rock. And it's a sacred site and meeting place for the Andayamathana people. But what it's best known for is actually a rock shelter with 6,000-year-old paintings. And the quality of those paintings, it is super clear, super bright. You can see it on the screen now. Just takes your breath away.
Yeah, it's funny because we crossed these other people on the walk up, and we were kind of like, oh, you know, how was it? And they're like, oh, you know, if you've been to Uluru, it's nothing on that and stuff like that. But when we got there, Dan and I were literally like gobsmacked. Like, he has been to Uluru before, and I'm on my way to Uluru, and, you know, but I thought it was absolutely beautiful.
Spectacular.
I don't know why anyone would say what they said. So don't miss it. I don't think it's worth missing. We were actually there with another couple, an older couple, and they were in the same, you know, they were loving it. They thought it was absolutely stunning. We had another moment where we were able to just sit and be at the site peacefully and meditate. And honestly, it was beautiful.
Yeah, and it's a pretty gentle 3.1k walk from the car park and back. Definitely not pet friendly, so being in the national park, you're not allowed to bring pets, including into the car park.
I'm pretty sure for this hike we actually left Wally in the caravan back at Rawnsley, because I think we went really early in the morning, so it was okay to sort of leave him for a couple of hours. I think that's the maximum amount of time to get there, do the hike and come back.
So, continuing on into the national park, 21 kilometres north of Rawnsley Park Station is Wilpenna Pound. So aside from being a really, really spectacular rock formation, and you can read all about the geological elements online, I'm not going to begin to try and talk about that, but it is also a resort, and it's got fuel and IGA, and there's quite a few hikes that originate from that area.
Yeah.
So it's not pet friendly, can't bring your dog or your cat in there, but
it does have like a little tourist information area for the whole entire park as well, so that's definitely a spot to go to if you're not sure of what you want to do in the Flinders Ranges.
Yeah, again, we left Wally in the care of the good people at Rawnsley Park Station kennels, and
Yeah,
Paprika was having a bit of alone time in the caravan.
Yeah, we took the day, I think, that time. Again, only about $25 or something for the whole day. Got a bone. So we were, I felt a little bit better about it this time around. And I'm pretty sure we ended up going for a beautiful scenic drive around, what was it called? Bunyeroo Valley?
Bunyeroo Valley.
Bunyeroo Valley. And it was 13 kilometres north of Wilpenna Pound. It's, again, not pet friendly, but as you know, Wally was in the care of the good people at Rawnsley Park. But it was a scenic gravel road with amazing viewpoints.
Like you get over these ridges and all of a sudden this view just hits you for six, and you're like, what?
You're like, this is the best thing I've ever seen. And then you go to the next one. This is the best thing I've ever seen. This is...
Yeah, like as you can see with...
Hi, Wally. Wait, I'm going the wrong way. There he is. Oh, he's about to... We've got some neighbours pulling up next to us, so he's about to get his bark on. There we go.
Good boy, protecting us, protect the family. Yeah, from the grey nomads. Talk to us too much. So, as you can see, Razorback Lookout, just like, you can't make it up. It's like a painting, just phenomenal. So it is a gravel road. You don't necessarily need a four-wheel drive, but it is recommended.
We saw heaps of wildlife too.
Yes, the emus.
Oh my gosh, we saw emus. They were so cute. They were like washing themselves inside like a puddle. It was the cutest thing. We might even have a video of that. And there was Euros, which are like the miniature little kangaroos. Yeah, it was good. It was really nice.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful country. So last,
something we didn't
definitely
think
not
we were going to do.
Yeah. So look, we've got a Toyota Hilux, pretty late model. We've kitted it out, upgraded suspension, airbags, recovery points, max tracks, the whole lot. Like, she looks pretty good. But, when we left on this trip, it was kind of like all the gear, no idea sort of vibes. Like, we've done a little bit of forward driving. We've gone and done a few tracks over the
very
years.
Quick,
but
like
nothing too
nothing
hectic.
crazy.
Nothing hectic enough to engage low range forward drive. Until we got to the Arkapena Track. So the Arkapena Track is a privately owned four-wheel drive track, and it's accessible from the Rawnsley Park property.
It's dog friendly.
It's dog friendly.
So you can actually, look, assuming that you've got a dog that likes to travel in the car and has a strong stomach, this big boy, he loves it. He likes a bit of adventure. He's a bit like his mum and his dad, likes to push the limits. So it was good fun to be able to do a full driving track with Wally with us.
Yeah, definitely. So it's about $45 to $55, and the reason for the price differential is it depends on what aspects of the track you do. There's a yellow and a red, and you can pick up the keys from Rawnsley Park Station reception, and then basically you're on your way from there. Just note, if there have been a lot of recent rains, it's likely that at least parts of the track may be closed. So the yellow part of the track is mainly, like, it's okay to do in an all-wheel drive or a low clearance four-wheel drive, but it's not recommended just because of the departure angles and the approach angles. They can be quite steep. So we did the yellow part. We couldn't do the red because of recent rain, so that was actually closed.
There was a number of tracks that were closed due to rain, unfortunately for us, but
so on the red,
that's
quite a steep track. You definitely need four-wheel drive low to be engaged, but we didn't get a chance to do that. But to be honest, the yellow one was enough.
For our first proper forward driving experience, we really, we thought it was pretty cool. We enjoyed it.
Yeah, so you get given a map by Rawnsley Park Station of all the key viewpoints along the way, and it's quite interesting. Like, it varies from the different nature sites to sites where there's been quite famous geological diggings, because apparently the area used to be an old ocean.
Yeah, and we could actually see little fossils and stuff like that. There was also the famous old dingo fence. So, like, you kind of drive along the dingo fence, which I think for a lot of people has a lot of historical value. We also found that it was 1080 baited. So that's one little thing. So you just need to keep that in mind for your pooch, depending on if you're going to let them out to go to the bathroom or the toilet. On leash, muzzle if you're really, wanting to be safe. So that's just something to keep in mind as well.
Yeah, definitely. So the reason... And I was questioning, like, why is this place 1080 baited? Aren't dingoes native to the environment? And yes, they are. But the problem is, back in the day, and I think still to this day, the sheep farmers obviously have their flogs flocks attacked by dingoes, and there's the baiting to not only keep the dingoes at bay, but I think also the foxes, maybe the rabbits as well.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, yeah,
And feral cats, I think, even
yeah,
still.
feral cats. So
There's feral cats all over the country, which we've found out as well. So
yeah, you do have to be super careful, because even a lick of a 1080 pellet, or even like
Yeah.
a bird, can pick it up from a baited area and take it into a non-baited area. It can cause all sorts of problems for your pooches and your kitties
yeah,
as
and
well.
unfortunately we have heard stories, not so much in that area, but some of the areas along the way of our journey. So we have to be very careful of our babies, especially if you don't want them to become sick or something bad to happen. You have to really kind of keep an eye on them. But yeah, I mean, Wally was okay because we were very cautious. Like if he needed to go to the bathroom, I think we only let him out one time, to be honest. It's a couple of hours of a drive.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've got a good enough pooch that'll let you know if he needs to go anyway. We just let him out for a small break, I think, when we stopped to have lunch by like a dry riverbed, which again, there was a little picnic spot that you can stop and a couple of lookouts.
Very cute.
Yeah,
Yep.
very nice. So we stopped and had lunch there. It was really pretty.
Probably like the most spectacular thing about the track was actually the different coloured soil and formations of rock along the way. So
Yeah.
literally you'd be going down a couple of kilometres and it'd be red earth, like
Yep.
outback red, and then it would all of a sudden switch to white,
Yeah.
and it'd be like white dust.
And sandy.
Yeah, and sandy. And then
there was like these all these different elements and colors, and it was just so stunning. Actually, I remember, again, I think I've probably half of the storage in my phone currently is because of the amount of videos I took on that particular four-wheel drive track.
Yeah.
Just because there was just like, I'd turn around, you'd kind of come over the hump or turn around a corner, and then it's like, oh, that looks so beautiful, and then the next one, oh, that looks so beautiful. So I will 100% vouch for the Flinders Ranges in general, that whole entire area that we spent so many extra days that we literally went to Rawnsley Park for a couple of nights. I think we stayed for 5, something like that. Like, we stayed way longer, and it's all because of the absolute gobsmacking beauty of the place. It is just beautiful. Everything about it is beautiful.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're not traveling with pets, even more things to do there. But the fact that there are kennel facilities available is just absolutely massive, because let's face it, you can't always bring them into the areas where you want to visit, but being able to leave them with peace of mind
And knowing
and
that
security.
they're safe. Exactly. And like I said, I was a bit, it's a cage, and it freaked me out. And I don't know what kind of pet parents you are. You might be crate trained your dogs and stuff like that, so you'll have no problems whatsoever. For me, I was like, oh, he's not a dog, he's my baby. Oh my God, Wally. Sorry, he just popped up. Like, he's not crate trained, he's my baby. I don't treat him like a dog. So when I had to put him into a kennel, I was like, but coming back, he was totally fine, and it was okay. But yeah, I guess, actually, to be fair, he did get sick at one point on this particular leg of the trip, and I just wanted to make note of it, because I guess it's just a funny experience that happens for people when they're traveling with their pets. So
Funny experience for you, not me. I was fast asleep. I didn't know anything that was going on.
yeah, so Dan's a very heavy sleeper. I am like, I can hear a friggin' frog and I'll wake up. I can hear the pitter patter of like some rain and I'll wake up. So Wally had a really, really bad stomach ache one night, and it was when we were at Rawnsley Park, and it was actually quite dark, really, really dark. And like I said, the area that we were staying in was very natural. Like, there was nothing around, just us pretty much. And so Wally was making sounds, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. Like, he does dream and makes noises, but he kept doing it. So I thought I better get up and check on him. I saw he was at the door. I'm like, okay, he must need to go to the toilet, because he doesn't normally make noises in the middle of the night. I let him go out. The poor pooch ran, and I thought, oh shit, he's gone. Like, it's pitch black. I'm like, fuck, I don't know what it was. Oops. I didn't mean to swear, but I just realized he's like gone. So I shined the flashlight, and the poor baby is hunched over like a bloody werewolf in the distance. I can't really show you without really making a fool of myself, but he was really sick. Diarrhea, like, non-stop. It was horrific.
On the hour, every hour, right?
On the hour, every hour. So that is just one little section of the trip where, living with pets can be quite difficult. Thankfully, I didn't have my earplugs in that night, and it didn't end up being a mess inside the caravan. But I think, yeah, every single hour on the hour, I had to get up to check on him. So I think he might have picked up a little bit of a tummy bug from some of the water, something to be cautious of. I mean, you can't really stop these things from happening. But yeah, it was a really restless night for me.
Well, he's a Melbourne City dog, so he's probably used to a certain type of tap water, let's call it that way.
Filtered water.
And then you move on to country bore water, and this is the result. But he's
Yeah.
all right now.
Yeah, he's fine. He's fine.
He's tougher for
But
it.
anyway, that was a fun time for me.
Yeah, glad you got to take that one. So look, folks, Flinders Ranges, yeah, took our breath away. You know, if we had more time, we definitely would have stayed there, but we were being called north by the weather and our own inability to sit still for much longer. So yeah, the next episode we'll be covering the northern part of the Flinders Ranges, completely different country. And then, yeah, I guess more episodes as we move further north into Central Australia. So as always, please remember to hit that subscribe button, support us, let us know in the comments what you found interesting, what you'd like to hear more of, and what you've enjoyed. We'd love to hear your feedback.
Thank you.
Till next time, bye for now.